Hi, I'm Khiry from inFlow's customer success team, and today I want to show you first in, first out, one of our 4 costing methods. Probably one of the most important costing methods because it's a little strict. You may have heard it before. Some people call it FIFO, some people call it FIFO. That's really your call. First off, let's see where we can change that. Also, if you're running inFlow inventory or manufacturing, it'll be in the same place and it will affect your products in the same exact way. So no worries if you are on one or the other, just follow along. Under your settings, if you go under global, you can go under your costing method. Here's where you'll see the 4 different costing methods. In this case, we're going to choose first in, first out. Your default will always go to moving average when you first come to inFlow, so just remember, if you are using first in, first out and you never made this change, you're probably not on first in or first out. Okay, once you select that, you will have to type in confirm and make sure that you don't have any products in there with costs already, because it could get a little messy. So in this case, let's go to one of our products. In this case, I'm going to be tracking this through apples. Now, the first indicator of being on first in and first out is that you'll see a little lock here and set to view only when you hover on it on your costing method. If you've seen moving average, you'd be able to edit this, but you can't do that when you're using FIFO. And that's because it is very strict in its rules, and you have to edit these costs based off of a purchase order. And that's the only way you can make these changes. Okay, so let's show that. I'm going to first create a purchase order, and I'm going to buy this from Peter. Let's get our first batch. And in this case, I'm going to buy 10 of them for $5. I'll fulfill, and I'll pay Peter. Let's quickly jump back into our product. Let's go and look at apples. So here I got a quantity of 10, and now I have a cost of $5. Now let's go and buy another batch. Let's go back to our purchase orders. We'll go back to Peter, but this isn't restricted to the same vendor. I'll type in apples again. In this case, I'll buy another 10, but this time I'm going to buy these ones at $6. I'm going to fulfill and pay. Now on moving average, you would get the average of what you paid for these different products. But in this case, you should still see the same $5. And the reason for that is inFlow will not change the costing layer until it sees that first grouping of 10 sold. And then it will show you the cost at $6. That's first in, first out. So let me show you that in action. We'll go to a sales order, and we're going to sell some of these to Simona. Let's type in apples. I'm going to save this. Make sure it's set to my location where I have these saved. Give it one more little refresh. And in this case, I'm going to sell my first batch of 10. We're going to sell these at $8. I'll fulfill. Mark that as paid. Now, let's go check up on our product. We go back to our products, go back to apples. Now we can see that it's changed to $6 once my quantity has depleted that 10 that were first bought at $5. And that's first in and first out. Thanks for watching.